I used to believe family would always protect you. Then my sister destroyed my life with a lie so cruel, it took me years to recover from it. Growing up, Olivia was the center of everything. The prettier daughter, the emotional one, the one my parents constantly protected. Meanwhile, I was just Emma, the responsible daughter, the quiet one, the one expected to understand. Whenever Olivia caused problems, somehow I became responsible for fixing them. If she forgot homework, I was supposed to help. If she fought with friends, I had to comfort her. If she made mistakes, my parents excused it because Olivia was sensitive. And if we argued, I was always the bad guy. At first, I tried not to care. I focused on school, worked part-time jobs, and stayed out of trouble. I thought eventually my parents would notice that I wasn't the selfish daughter they imagined. But they never did. Everything finally collapsed when I was 23. At the time, I was finishing nursing school while dating my boyfriend, Caleb. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and honestly, I thought we were going to get married someday. He was calm, funny, patient. Most importantly, he made me feel chosen for the first time in my life. Olivia, meanwhile, bounced between toxic relationships and constant drama. Every week there was a new crisis, a new breakup, a new emotional meltdown my parents rushed to fix. One Friday night, my mom invited Caleb and me over for dinner. At first, everything felt normal. Dad grilled steaks outside. Mom talked about church gossip. Olivia spent the entire evening acting strangely cheerful. Too cheerful. I didn't realize why until later that night. Around midnight, I woke up thirsty and walked downstairs for water. That's when I heard laughing coming from the guest room. A man's laugh. Caleb's laugh. My stomach instantly tightened. The guest room door was slightly open, and light spilled into the hallway. I stepped closer slowly, and then I saw them. Olivia lying in bed. Caleb beside her, half naked. For a second, my brain completely stopped working. I genuinely thought I was hallucinating. Then Olivia looked up and saw me standing there. Instead of guilt, she smiled. A small, smug smile I'll never forget. Caleb jumped up immediately. Emma, wait! But I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was collapsing inward. I remember backing away while Olivia wrapped the blanket around herself dramatically. Then suddenly she started crying. Real tears. Panicked breathing. And before I could even process what was happening, she screamed. She attacked me. I froze. What? My parents came running downstairs instantly. Olivia pointed at me while sobbing hysterically. She caught us talking and completely lost it. She tried to hit me. Dad turned toward me with pure rage in his eyes. What did you do? I couldn't even form words properly. They were in bed together. Caleb opened his mouth, but Olivia grabbed his arm first. It was a mistake, she cried. We were drinking and she misunderstood everything. Misunderstood. I stared at Caleb desperately, waiting for him to tell the truth. He looked down at the floor. That silence told me everything. Mom rushed to comfort Olivia while Dad stepped toward me aggressively. You've always been jealous of your sister, he snapped. But this is insane. I felt like I was losing my mind. They cheated on me. Olivia cried harder instantly. She's scaring me? Dad pointed toward the front door. Get out. I blinked in shock. What? Until you calm down. You are not welcome in this house. I looked at my mother, hoping, just hoping, she would say something, anything. But she avoided my eyes completely. And Caleb? He still said nothing. Not a single word. I remember shoving clothes into trash bags while Olivia continued crying downstairs like she was the victim. Before I left, I turned toward Caleb one final time. You really can't tell them the truth. For a second, guilt flashed across his face. Then Olivia grabbed his hand, and he stayed silent. That was the moment something inside me broke permanently. I walked out into the cold night with nowhere to go, carrying everything I owned in 2 garbage bags. And behind me, my family closed the door like I never existed at all. After Grandma told me the truth, something inside me broke permanently. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, like a light shutting off forever. My parents knew Olivia lied. They knew I was innocent, and they still let me suffer alone for years because admitting the truth would make them look bad. That realization destroyed whatever love I still had for them. So I stopped waiting for apologies. I focused on survival instead. I finished nursing school while working exhausting night shifts at a diner. Some nights I was so tired I slept in my car between classes because driving home felt impossible. But slowly life improved. I became an ER nurse at one of the busiest hospitals in the state. I built friendships, stability, confidence. For the first time in my life, people respected me. Then came the stormy night that changed everything. The ambulance doors burst open just after midnight. Female, 26, severe internal bleeding, possible overdose. The trauma team rushed forward instantly. I grabbed the patient chart automatically and froze. Olivia, her face was pale, her lips slightly blue. Blood stained her sweatshirt while machines beeped around her. For one horrible second, my body forgot how to move. Then instinct took over. We inserted IVs, checked vitals, prepared emergency blood transfusions. Doctors shouted orders while nurses rushed around the room. Then my parents appeared. Dad looked terrified. Mom was crying so hard she could barely stand. The second they saw me in hospital scrubs, both of them froze. 5 years. 5 years without hearing my voice. And now we were standing in an emergency room together. Emma, Mom whispered weakly. I said nothing. There wasn't anything left to say. A surgeon approached quickly. We need family medical history now. My parents stared blankly at him. What medications is she taking? Silence. An alergias. More silence. Blood type. Nothing. I answered every question myself. The surgeon nodded and rushed back into surgery. Mom looked at me with disbelief in her eyes. Probably because the daughter they abandoned was suddenly the only person holding everything together. Hours later, Olivia finally stabilized. Internal bleeding, alcohol poisoning, liver damage. She almost died. My parents sat in silence outside the ICU, looking completely shattered. Dad finally spoke without looking at me. We were wrong. The words sounded small, pathetic even. I felt nothing hearing them. No relief. No satisfaction. Just emptiness. Mom started crying again. We didn't know how to fix things after we found out the truth. I stared at her coldly. You could have started with a phone call. Neither of them answered. Then a nurse walked toward us quietly. She's awake, she said. My parents stood immediately, but the nurse looked directly at me. She asked for Emma. Not Mom, not Dad, me. And in that moment, for the first time in years, my parents finally realized who had truly been there for Olivia all along. When I walked into Olivia's hospital room, she immediately started crying. I'm sorry, she whispered weakly. I never thought things would go this far. For years, I imagined hearing those words. But now, they felt empty. Olivia admitted everything. The gambling, the fake screenshots, the lies.